compared to Nicki Minaj. Now, recently she did drop this song with the K-pop artist named Jennie called Extra L, and a lot of people noticed that Doechii sounds an awful like Nicki Minaj. Now, I've been saying that Doechii reminds me of Nicki, and she does sometimes remind me of Doja Cat, and she reminds me a lot of Azalea Banks. In fact, I think Doechii is going to be what Azalea Banks should have been, to be honest. But Doechii does remind me of various artists, and yes, she has her own style, but she does take references from different artists. And Nicki Minaj seems to be the artist that she takes some pretty noticeable references from her sound effects to her cadence to her flow, sometimes even her lyrics. And there are some fans who pointed it out. In fact, there was a reel that kind of compared Doechii's rap style to Nicki's rap style on certain songs like Roger That, Roman Holiday, Bottoms Up. You know, you kind of see the similarities when you put Nicki's rap style side by side with Doechii's rap style. And Nicki's fan base did point it out, but they did face opposition from other people who support Doechii. One person said, whenever there's another successful female rapper, you want to compare them to Nicki. Give it a break. We need a new storyline. The way they do this when there's a new rising female rapper, we are tired. Doechii is a true student of hip-hop and rap and is inspired by multiple great artists, which is another reason why she is the talented artist that she is. If you plan to be great at something, you're going to study it, and that's what she does. I couldn't be more of an anti-bar, but I do hear the similarities, like if Nicki had actual lyricism, substance, and fresh creativity, but she don't. So Doechii took them nachos and turned them into a burrito. I know that's right. That tweet makes no sense at all. This other person said, now they're saying Doechii is copying Nicki. It ain't wrong though, but it's the industry, bro. Nothing new. And that's true. I mean, there's nothing really new under the sun. Every new artist who comes out is going to be compared to somebody. It happened to Nicki too. When she first came out, she was compared to Lil' Kim. And now fast forward today, you see a lot of different female rappers who come out and they're being compared to Nicki Minaj. And the reason for this is because Nicki has been the most dominant female rapper in this generation. So it's absolutely impossible for her to not have some influence on this new generation of female rappers because she has literally laid down the pink print for this. But there is a difference from being inspired and just copying, and some people feel like Doechii is copying Nicki Minaj. Now, I do have a theory about this. I think at times Doechii intentionally sounds like Nicki, and it could be that she's being encouraged by her team to do this as a way to create some buzz and maybe a little bit of controversy. And sometimes I get the feeling that it's almost like a bait for Nicki to respond, and I hope Nicki does not fall for it. But overall, I don't really see Doechii as a Nicki copycat. She doesn't have the whole queen, diva, baddie aesthetic to her. She's more so very quirky, very theatrical, very eccentric. Some people kind of labeled her the Grace Jones of rap, and that's actually a pretty good comparison. Doechii is pretty out there. She does a lot of different things, and she's very talented. So she has her own style. But the Nicki inspiration is very obvious, and honestly, it's bound to happen. Like I said, Nicki has been so dominant in the music industry that at this point, it's really impossible to not see anybody inspired by her. So Doechii is definitely inspired, please believe, but I don't want her to mimic her influences too much because people are going to bring those comparisons up, and that's not something she needs. But I do think she'll go far. I think she's very, very, very talented, very versatile, very entertaining. Like, she does check all the boxes of what a superstar should be. So yeah, she's doing her thing. Now moving on, let's talk about Coco Jones. Coco is dropping her debut album, Why Not More, and she recently dropped a new single called Taste, which actually samples Britney Spears' song Toxic. Now, in my personal opinion, I have to say I do kind of like the song, y'all. Even though Coco was getting ate up online about it, I personally like it. Now, as far as the video is concerned, I wish it was a bit more polished, and I wasn't really a fan of the overly sexual dancing because it just didn't look seamless. It felt a bit forced, and I could tell that Coco was definitely out of her element doing this, and there's no harm with her experimenting, but I kind of prefer the more quiet sultriness, the quiet sensuality that she showcased in some of her other videos. I really liked her video, Here We Go. I thought that was a great video, and it showcased her dance moves without her looking a little all over the place and awkward. As far as the song is concerned, I actually like it. However, some people do not. And I was looking at some of the reactions. Someone said, I wish they would have did this sample a little bit different. Pitch it down or something. She sounds amazing though. Industry songwriters are getting lazier and lazier. Her voice is too good to be on this song. Nobody likes the song. Meanwhile, I don't think it's too bad. It's the choral that's off for me. Why they make Britney sound like Cher? This wasn't a good use of a sample. Just sounds off. Who the heck did she let sing the sample? I hate the video, not gonna lie. Coco is not a dancer, and her trying to be sexy comes across as awkward. This whole video was cringy. I really wish these labels and creative directors would cater to their talent and understand what works for them and what doesn't. I think the choreography should have been smoother, slower moves, less counts. Choreography that is too fast looks busy for these type of tempos. I feel like in naming things sexy, everyone is forgetting sensuality. This is terrible sampling. I'm sorry, nothing here sounds fresh or original. She better scrap this from her album. There is still time. Love her down, but this sounds ridiculous. Oh my gosh. With full thoughts, my notes are the song is cute, but if you're gonna touch toxic, come with a smash. Your dancer needs to be a little more trained to pull this kind of scene off. The world does not want urban mid-tempos from her, as bad as she wants to give them Z. This is very, very, very Normani coded, and because of that, it's not working. The sample is extremely forced and uncreative too. None of it feels authentic to Coco. And I saw this comment a lot. A lot of people felt like this video reminded them a lot of Normani. And maybe those comparisons are coming because they both are dark-skinned girls. But I will say I do kind of agree in a sense, because some of what Coco Jones was trying to pull off did remind me of something that Normani has done in the past. But Normani is a natural dancer, so her movements come across a lot smoother. But Coco, on the other hand, has different strengths. Now, she can dance, but I don't think she should be throwing it up in the air like that. Like, that's not Coco's vibe, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to beat her up over it. I mean, she's trying something new. She's obviously trying to find herself as an artist right now, so she's experimenting. But I will say what Coco has done in the past has worked. So I don't want her to drift away too far from that. I don't want her to be listening to people in her ear telling her to sex things up. Everybody doesn't have to be a sex kitten, you know what I mean? That's kind of the box that the industry likes to put a lot of black women in. And Coco is not that type of artist. And I don't want her to feel the pressure of succumbing to that image either. But anyway, tell me what you all think about this.